if we are lone wolves, there is this pressure on us to have friends and with those friends have experiences what we can post on social media. And if you aren't that person, maybe because you're introverted or because you just don't find joy in those things, you can, especially when you're younger, you can feel extremely isolated and extremely lonely. I've always felt the concept of loneliness is just that. It's just a concept. Perhaps it doesn't. It exists in the sense that you feel the emotion, but is it a way of living? I don't think so, because when you get older and you branch off into your own life, you realize that if you want to live your own way and if you want to achieve the things that you believe you can or you dream of achieving, that is a very lonely path to walk, and usually you will not. You usually have to walk your own path by yourself. The loneliest moment I've ever had in my life was after the breakup of my first relationship. I spoke briefly about it a few videos back, and it was 2 weeks after the breakup. I had a trip organized to Barcelona, and I'm a huge football fan, so I was looking forward to watching my favorite team, and most importantly, I was looking forward to seeing Messi, one of my, somebody who just keeps delivering me a gift and gives me so much life and inspires me and keeps me so happy. I'd been a couple of years before to go watch Barcelona, but Messi was injured, so I was yet to see him play in real life. So I was very excited about that, and in my first relationship, we both spoke about Barcelona. I wouldn't say she was a football fan, but she indulged me and she took an interest in my passion. And I had nobody else really to talk to about that. And she was my best friend. And then when we break up and I'm in Barcelona, sure, I have friends, but there is something. There is a tier system in friendship. It's like if you lose a family member, if you to death, or you just don't speak to them anymore. There is, depending on how high up the tier they are, if they are in your inner circle and if they are your best friend can provide more to you than, say, an acquaintance, like maybe like a classmate or just somebody you work with. Your best friend is your closest, and if you lose that, you lose your security and you lose your confidant, and you suddenly have. So I suddenly found myself in a Barcelona hotel alone, and I had friends at the time, but they weren't the people I could talk to about my passion. So because I couldn't talk to anybody about my passion, there was nobody in the universe to hear it. I felt extremely alone. And that's when I sort of realized on that day that feeling loneliness is not, it doesn't have to be a state of mind. It's not a lifestyle choice. It's just a something what it's like grief. It's attached to grief. And I'm not saying people don't live in loneliness for 10 years. There are many old people who live in this way. But when you just twist your idea on loneliness a little bit, you can soon realize that it's not as it seems. And on that day, where I went into Barcelona Stadium by myself, and eventually the veil, the black cloud was lifted, and I enjoyed being by myself. I enjoyed drinking coffee by myself in the stand. I chatted to some locals. I did all the things what only I could do by myself. If somebody was to come with me, I would have to compromise on what I wanted to do. And then later in life, I was able to talk about this trip to other people who were fans of Barcelona. My current fiance, if you like, I can show her pictures of that memory and talk about that to her. And I can talk about the loneliness I felt, and we can dissolve it. So what I learned was many things. One of the things I learned is we're always technically alone. Like, we're gonna face the curtain by ourselves, and when we remove ourselves from our loved ones or from the world, and we're by ourselves with our own thoughts, we are alone. And I've always enjoyed that. It sounds a little bit corny, but my best friend is kind of in a way myself. And you realize that. So you realize two things, and there's two paths what a lonely person can take. There's the path where you completely shut everybody out because they just don't match up to what you want out of somebody, or you have such high standards. Or there's another path what I've sort of taken, where I adapt to other people. When I meet somebody, I don't think, okay, this person's going to be my best friend. I don't say they're not going to be my best friend, but I leave the me who isn't overly impressed with a lot of people, and walks his own path, beats to his own drum, is very happy with himself, very happy with a book, very happy away from people. I remove that version of myself and I put a new version of myself up, where I am generous in conversation and I try my hardest to meet people at whatever stance they are in life, and I try and have a friendly conversation, but I don't attach myself to them. And I also make sure that when I well, here's the thing. There is this problem what we all have, and I certainly have, which is something that needs to be acknowledged, that if you are searching for your partner romantically, or if you're searching for a friend, a lot of the time the reason why you don't get that, part of it is luck, but another part of it is you are just not in the space to meet that person, if that makes any sense. You are not putting yourself out there in such a way to meet this incredible person what could change your life. When I was just getting into my relationship I'm in now, I was very much ready for the relationship. So because of that, I'm not saying that's what made it happen, but it's certainly what made it work, because I had been in a relationship before, so I knew all the problems what could come up in a relationship. I knew how to tackle them, or I have more perspective now. It's a bit like those gurus online what tell you about get your numbers up. What it actually is you need experience in being in a relationship, not just being with somebody for a month, or just going with somebody because they're convenient. Actually being in a fully fledged relationship where love is the highest element, and you're allowed to be passionate together. So because I had been through that, I knew what to expect in another relationship, and I was ready. I would actually say in my current stage in life right now, I'm actually, because I felt myself being burnt so many times, I wouldn't actually say I'm ready to try and find a best friend, if you like, if you even like that word, which I don't. And you have to, and if you are that person, you have to sort of conclude, and you have to realize in your head that's okay. That you might not be ready for that yet, and you just have to experience life a little bit more and learn to open yourself up. But that's what you realize with loneliness, that it is very blissful being by yourself, because you can do what you want. If you go on vacation by yourself, people do mention all the fallings of being a solo traveler, but the world is your oyster, and then when you have people around you, it's closed. And of course you can have incredible experiences with people very close to you. I'm not saying you can't, but there is a whole other life where you can lose yourself in and find great answers. And what I see a mistake of is people, they throw themselves into solo traveling, or they throw themselves into this being lonely, but they haven't quite yet dealt with being by themselves and understanding that you might not get something out of this, and the getting something out of this is being by yourself. And that might be another video to talk about. So I'm going to end this here. I hope this has been helpful. It's a very nice day today. I'm not sure what you think about the shade on this video. It's one of those artistic things. I thought, oh, this looks cool, and then the more I'm doing, the more I'm doing the video, I'm like, is this good? Okay, so enjoy yourselves. Have a good week. Have a good weekend. Ciao.